The loneliness epidemic, a modern crisis. We live in a world more connected than ever before. Our phones buzz with notifications, social media feeds us constant updates, yet paradoxically, loneliness is on the rise. It's become a modern epidemic, touching lives across all ages and backgrounds. In the UK, a staggering 9 million people report feeling lonely often or always. That's more than the entire population of London. Traditional community structures have broken down. Many of us live far from family. Work demands eat into our social time. And while we have hundreds of online friends, deep, meaningful connections are harder to come by. Loneliness isn't just about being physically alone, it's a subjective feeling of disconnection. As we delve deeper into this issue, we'll explore why loneliness is so harmful and, crucially, what we can do about it.
The hidden health hazards of being alone. Loneliness isn't just an emotional state. It has tangible physical effects on our bodies. Research shows that chronic loneliness can be as harmful to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, and premature death. The stress of feeling isolated triggers our body's fight or flight response. This leads to inflammation, weakening our immune system over time. Mental health is equally at risk. Loneliness is strongly linked to depression and anxiety. It can create a vicious cycle. Feeling lonely makes us withdraw from social situations. This in turn increases our isolation, making us feel even lonelier. Cognitive decline is another concern. Studies show that lonely older adults are more likely to develop dementia. It's a silent threat, slowly eroding our well-being from the inside out.
Why loneliness is the silent killer. Loneliness earns its reputation as a silent killer for several reasons. First, it's often invisible to others. Unlike a physical ailment, there are no obvious outward signs of loneliness. This makes it easy for loneliness to go unnoticed and untreated for long periods. Secondly, there's still a stigma attached to admitting you're lonely. Many people feel ashamed or embarrassed to say they're struggling with loneliness. This reluctance to open up means many suffer in silence. It's only in recent years that the true scale and impact of the loneliness epidemic have started to come to light.
Building bridges. Practical ways to combat isolation. Combating loneliness starts with small steps. One effective strategy is to establish a daily routine that includes social interaction. This could be as simple as chatting with a neighbor or calling a friend. Regular, even brief, social contact can make a big difference. Volunteering is another powerful tool against loneliness. It provides a sense of purpose and connects you with like-minded people. Joining clubs or groups based on your interests is another effective strategy. Whether it's a book club, sports team, or craft group, shared activities provide natural conversation starters. Don't worry if you're shy or feel out of practice socially. Most people in these groups are there to meet others too. Lastly, consider adopting a pet if your living situation allows it. Pets provide companionship and unconditional love. Just make sure you're prepared for the responsibility before taking this step.
Section 5. Real stories triumph over solitude. Meet Sarah, a 34-year-old marketing executive who moved to a new city for work. At first, she threw herself into her job, working long hours. But evenings and weekends felt empty. She realized she was deeply lonely.
Sarah decided to join a local running club. Slowly, she formed friendships with her running buddies. They now meet for coffee after runs and even planned a group trip. Sarah says, "It changed everything. I have a community now."
Then there's Tom, a 72-year-old widower. After his wife passed, Tom rarely left the house. His daughter encouraged him to volunteer at a local school, reading to children. Tom was hesitant but gave it a try. To his surprise, he loved it. The children's enthusiasm was infectious. "I feel useful again," Tom says. These stories show that overcoming loneliness is possible.
Section 6. The power of human connection. Human connection is fundamental to our well-being. We are, at our core, social creatures. Our brains are wired for interaction and bonding. When we connect with others, our bodies release oxytocin, often called the love hormone. This chemical promotes feelings of trust and bonding. It also reduces stress and anxiety. The quality of our relationships matters more than quantity. One deep, meaningful connection can do more to combat loneliness than 100 superficial acquaintances. These strong bonds provide emotional support, a sense of belonging, and shared experiences. Human connection also provides practical benefits. We rely on our social networks for information, opportunities, and assistance. It's through these connections that we build stronger, more resilient communities.
Section 7. Technology friend or foe in the loneliness battle. Technology plays a complex role in the loneliness epidemic. On one hand, it offers unprecedented opportunities for connection. Social media platforms allow us to stay in touch with friends and family across the globe. Video calls bring distant loved ones into our living rooms. Online forums connect people with niche interests who might never have met otherwise. However, the digital world has its downsides. Excessive screen time can lead to decreased face-to-face interactions. The curated nature of online profiles can also fuel feelings of inadequacy and FOMO, fear of missing out. The key lies in how we use technology. It should supplement, not replace, real-world connections. Emerging technologies also offer promising solutions to loneliness. As with all technology, the key is to use these tools wisely, as aids to human connection rather than substitutes for it.
Section 8. Hope on the horizon, creating a connected future. Despite the challenges, there's reason for optimism in the fight against loneliness. Awareness of the issue is growing. Governments and health organizations are starting to recognize loneliness as a serious public health concern. The UK, for example, appointed a Minister for Loneliness in 2018. Communities are also stepping up. Initiatives like community gardens, intergenerational housing projects, and chat benches in public spaces are popping up around the world. These create opportunities for casual interactions and foster a sense of belonging. Libraries are reinventing themselves as community hubs, offering not just books but social events and meeting spaces. Schools are starting to incorporate social-emotional learning into their curricula. Universities are paying more attention to student mental health and social integration. Workplaces are recognizing the importance of social connections for employee well-being and productivity. Ultimately, combating loneliness requires a collective effort. The path to a more connected future starts with each of us, one conversation, one act of kindness at a time.